Greetings, one and all. Yes, I'm back. Brother Siayome, aka Cosmic Call Mystic, and you are tuned into Bless Radio. Know thyself, Bless Radio. www.blessradio.org. Yes, greetings, one and all. And greetings for those who are tuning in live right now on YouTube, or those who are tuning in via the internet or on the TuneIn app. Okay? However you're tuning in live to this evening's show of Cosmic Roots Show, I big you all up. I wish you well. And yes, a big shout out to you all. So, yes, what we going to have this evening? Well, it's how I like to go with the flow, you see. Because when you try to control things that you can't control, you just kind of make your ass miserable, you know what I mean? You know, you need to know how to go with the flow. Trust in the deeper source, deeper in a higher source within yourself and all around you. That's always moving and changing, moving and changing. You know, so yes, last strong, I was doing Astrology 3, and that was part 3, and I touched on the cosmic laws. The cosmic laws on that show. But I think I'm going to go into a bit more of the astrological weather. Astro weather. Astro weather. What is astro weather? Well, the astro weather is basically the movements of the constellations within yourself, the energies, the planets that represent energies within you and I, and what impels or brings forth up the urge that begins to bring certain thoughts in one's awareness, certain urges or the essence of those thoughts. And then it's your choice whether you act upon them or not. So usually you see, you know, where the planets are correlating with some event taking place on this planet. So when you're dealing with the energies, the planetary energies, which are correlating to your soul, the soul's powers and intelligence, and the personal planets dealing with the personality complexes we all have down here or on this plane. Well, you got stuff taking place behind the scenes, you see, which then impel but doesn't compel. And this is important to know the difference. Impel, I mean, some would use the synonymous with compulsion, but impel is where you feel an urge. It impels an urge, a kind of a catalyst for a certain urge, or that a force that then could be acted upon or not. Okay, you're the one who's still in charge here. So you may hear, or I would say that the stars or the inner stars, the signs, these planets, these alignments, these transits, they may impel thought, but they don't compel thought. You still are the one who chooses whether you're going to act on a particular urge or not. But because a lot of people are unconscious, they feel compelled, you see, because they're not consciously aware of the source of the urge and how this is being catalysed by the internal movements of the planets in their inner heavens, which is reflected on the outside, okay? Then, you know, various things always seem to, events that you see taking place on the planet, always seem to correlate with the movement of the stars, yeah? You know, right now there's a lot of upheaval and protests going on in France, which is not televised, of course. And if they do, they're not going to give you the real deal of why, what's going on. You see, you got to remember, all the news is fake. It's lie. It's all edited and it's all scripted, okay, to kind of pull a veil over your eyes so you happen to be like, you know, you're just some domesticated sheep, you know, you're just believing in the illusion, you know, in what they're concocting for you to keep you docile, you know what I'm saying? While the real deal behind the scenes taking place, you know, is about, you know, you got folks, they've had enough. You know, people are just, can't take this government no more. People around the world are fighting to tear down their government because the government is overtaxing people. The government is corrupted. You know what I mean? Actually, you're living in a time where you're seeing the fall of empires. You know, you're seeing the fall of an empire. You're seeing the defunct government. You know, people don't want to be governed by these elites and these, yeah, I'm going to say it, man, pedophiles and rapists and murderers, you know, who they graduate at universities, building schools and university to graduate thieves, murderers, pedophiles, you know what I'm saying? Child abusers, all mannerisms of stuff, you know, hoarders, you know, hoarding all of what, you know, they particularly believe they possess and is theirs, you know what I'm saying? While they're governing, yeah, the methods, what I would say, the decisions, you know, these people make that affect many other people's lives, you know, is not a thing that they themselves would live by, but they're making decisions that affect other people's lives, and people are saying, you know what, enough's enough. Now, I'm not really one to be protesting out in the street and to be, you know, getting all into, that's not going to be my approach, because you see, a lot of people don't understand what you're giving energy to is what, you know what I'm saying, you're drawing more to you. What you're giving energy to is what you're bringing to you, because, you know, a lot of us just look at things physically and don't realize that we're actually vibrational beings. And to understand this principle of vibration. And last Tuesday, I did touch on this, you know, upon the cosmic laws, and I was explaining how, you know, you got the three immutable principles. These are the laws of existence. This is not man's laws, and this is not Bible, Ten Commandments, you know, type of laws that people who don't understand how that is being used for mind control as well, you know, this religion and that, to have you believing in what is not, you see, what you give your energy to, you're empowering, you know, even if it's a lie. Yep, that's the truth. So, you know, there is, just looking through some things, scrolling through some things here. So there is, you know, there is a big change taking place. I mean, when I'm saying about the cosmic laws, the cosmic principles, you know, I talked about the immutable laws, the laws of existence, not these man-made stuff down here, which is just to manipulate and control people. Because, yeah, if people were empowered and knew the truth of themselves, you could not put them in slave. You couldn't enslave them. You can't manipulate them. You see, what's going on here in this world is psychological, emotional manipulation, and many people are into it. They're in on it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, you know, if you're conditioned to believe in various things, you yourself, if you're not looking any deeper behind the veil in order to tap into what is authentic and true and real of yourself, then you can be a participator in the very psychological, emotional manipulation that is being used to control and govern many people's minds and therefore their lives. You see? I mean, a lot of stuff I mean, if it was there's a lot of look, man. Even to say that, look, the elite group of people, they all call themselves elite, who are behind most of the decisions you're experiencing trickling down to you as the everyday, Don Joe. You know what I'm saying? These people are making these decisions are soulless and corrupted, really corrupted to the core, because they fragmented themselves from source in such a way that, well, you're dealing with some really heavily deprived beings here, you know what I mean, who are making decisions that affect your life. So anyway, you got a lot of things happening, and the time it's happening, you end up looking into heavens and you're seeing transits of planets moving out from one sign into another. And as these planets move out from one sign into another, you get activation of what you see being expressed down here as representation of the movements in the heavens. Now, what I'm saying at this moment may not make much sense to many or few, because you may not kind of see astrology in this way or be aware of what's taking place behind the scenes of every planet and every activity taking place. So what I'm saying may still seem a little abstract to some. So what am I feeling to do right now is break it up a little with some music, and I will come back to you on the other side of that. So yeah, all right, I'm gonna play a tune here, and okay. Yeah, I'm going to warm up before I get into this, because when I start to flow ride, there's no stopping me. So, well, yeah. All right, I'm going to play this groove for you. And, oh, yeah, just enjoy, okay? Just enjoy.
Render your arts and not your garments. The truth is there, for who have eyes to see? Partiality has no place in this judgment. Remember the words of prophecy. Children run, come to truths and rights. That's what I'm about. You know the truths and rights. Teach it to the children. You know the truths and rights. Teach it to the children, 'cause they should know. No. Children, say a little prayer every night before you go to sleep, 'cause tomorrow is promised to no one. When you think it's peace and safety, Lord, it could be sudden destruction. 'Cause we know, yes we know. word I am saying to you right now. And for tomorrow and henceforth I say, render your hearts and not your garments. The truth is there for whoever has to see. Partiality has no place in this judgment. Just remember the words of prophecy. I say, children run, come, the truth and rights. That's what I'm about. You know the truth and rights. Teach it to the children. Run, come, the truth and rights. That's what I'm about.
Yeah, Truths and Brides. That one's there by Brother Johnny Osborne. I'm going to play another tune here for you. And it's going to be of a different kind of flavor, but still going to touch and tickle that spot. So, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Expansions. Expand your consciousness. Expansion of consciousness. Yeah, that's Lonnie Liston Smith. And that's an old groove. And yeah, soul people, soul people, soul people. I trust you're all doing well this evening, and the vibes is how it is. And I think I will break down a little of astrological, what we say, weather report, where things are at this moment of time. Yeah, okay. So how I'll go into this now is where last strong I was talking about, I broke down a few things about cosmic laws. Prior to that, I was breaking down, the generations of souls that come in here, incarnate. I was talking about the souls who incarnate Pluto in Virgo and Pluto in Libra. And Pluto in Scorpio, and the generation of Pluto up to the generation of those who are just coming in. What Pluto with Pluto in Sagittarius, and those little newborns who have Pluto in Capricorn. These souls, gotta remember, you are souls, and therefore by looking into yourself as a soul, the vibrational being you are, you'll get better understanding of yourself and why you were born into the generation that you have been born into, okay? Or you chose to incarnate. Incarnate is to be in body, in form, okay? Carnal means flesh. That's what it means. So we incarnate in what is called this physical vehicle, made up of flesh, blood, and bones. But the driver, you see, the drivers whom you need to really truly get in touch with, not what has hijacked your vehicle, you know what I mean? Or in fact, you need to get in touch with what's hijacked your vehicle so you can, take it out the driver's seat and put yourself back into, the true awareness of who you are to be ruling your destiny, regardless of the indoctrination and the, as I said, psychological, emotional, mind control that's being used every day, okay? That is being used every day to keep you from realizing the true reality of yourself, reality of one's true self. Roots, remember now, you're on Cosmic Roots Show. Yes, so this is Brother Siayome, a.k.a. Cosmic Hell Mystic. And, yeah, just going to break down some weather forecast astrologically right now. You see, for a year and a month, we've had Jupiter. Jupiter representing the benevolent king. Jupiter, that planet, also representing your hippocampus, is also representing your liver. The liver is the largest organ in the body. You see, when you're dealing with these planets, I'm going to get into this stuff. When you're dealing with astrology, I tell you, it's all to do with you, okay? It's all to do with you. It's all to do with your makeup and everything. The planets even correspond to organs in your body, okay? I could go deeper in that, but I don't want to lose too many people. Don't want to lose you because going into the primordial reality of your being and who you are, the primordial supreme source, which is the origin of where you get all this mythology that these planets have been used. You got the mythological characters based around these planets, your big Jupiter, in the Greco-Roman, they'll tell you that is Zeus, okay? In the ancient Egyptian, Kemetic, that goes back to Amen-Ra, the hidden inner light. And people still, every time they end their prayers, they're saying amen and have no awareness of where those words originate and where they come from, okay? Amen meaning the hidden. Some would say, oh no, amen means faith, to have faith. You see, that's what happens when you buy into and hold on to mistranslations and don't do no research for your own self. This is how people get caught up believing what they've been told and really don't know. They don't know nothing unless they go and do their own investigation, okay? And deal with linguistics and languages and etymology and what is the meaning really? What's the true concept behind that word? You know? When you're asking those questions and you seek to know for yourself, then you will go beyond being just directed by other people's words by just telling you, oh, it means this and that, and you don't even check it out for yourself. So you will be believing rather than knowing. So anyway, or being more better informed. Now, yeah, so, Jupiter isn't just this planet. It correlates to a mythology. There's a mythology behind it, you see. And that mythology will, if you go deep into it, you'll find that it's relating back to you. I mean, wow. The things. See, right now, as I said, Jupiter's moved out of Scorpio. Scorpio, the planet of mystery, not the planet, the sign, of mystery and that which is hidden. And dealing with the deep psychology and nature of the soul. It also deals with, what one is experiencing as trauma, how one experiences stuff, that like separation, feelings of abandonment and, trust issues and stuff for the Scorpio about merging. But I'm not going to go into that this evening in this way. I'm basically trying to say that, look, these planets are correlated to you, our body organs, glands, as, portions of your brain, the hippocampus, the abdullah. You've got these names for this stuff, man, these names. Wow. You should ask yourself, why are these names given to parts of your body and your organs and so forth? Why these particular names? It can be very informative when you go and check these things out. But you see, what's happening here is that when a planet such as Jupiter moves out of a sign, while it's been in there, it's been doing all this work, which is being reflected in the actions or the expressions taking place on the planet, which comes forth from the inside out. So you see people's expressions, or you hear the news correlating to the revelation of things that were hidden, okay? Or, because Scorpio is about what's hidden, okay? And it's related to sex and psychology and intimacy. And also the true, deeper soul desires and motivation from the will of the soul of you. So, you get all of these sex scandals come out, the Weinstein, this, and, this ain't new stuff. But you see, when things are hidden and then they're exposed, and then people have been believing in some, illusionary narrative, they get surprised when, the fairy tale isn't actually the reality that they've been taught or told to believe, So everybody wants to be in Hollywood. Everybody wants to be a film star, actor, or whatever. But you don't realize what comes along in the package with those, with such things. You see what really is going on behind the scenes. So all of that stuff was being brought out during the time Jupiter was in Scorpio. So now Jupiter's moved out. It's entered into Sagittarius, its home sign. Sagittarius is about what is the nature of truth to you. You see, Jupiter also represents the higher mind, the divine mind. And Jupiter represents the quest for higher truth, the cosmic reality. It is also what those far journeys that you will go on, or the journeys within your consciousness. Because a lot of people think a journey has to take place outside of you, when it does not. You can, even when in your dreams, come on, people are traveling and journeying within their own consciousness while they sleep. Yeah. Going to places far beyond where you could go on this planet. You see? People going to other star systems, going into other dimensions, going into other realms of consciousness where they're experiencing various different modes of awareness, okay? That's a journey. So that's Sagittarius. So the quest in search for the truth of the source of your being. Now, that being said, Jupiter entering into Sagittarius is going to be bringing up more of this quest within oneself to know the truth. And when I say the truth of being, but at the moment, a lot of people think knowing the truth of some terrestrial thing, or knowing the truth of some political agenda, or knowing the truth whether, the moon is real or not. These are many little things. I mean, the major truth which Sagittarius and Jupiter represent is the truth of you. Who are you? I mean, the greatest thing to study is yourself. You have people that would know more about what's happening in the celebrities' lives that they celebrate and worship. They will know more about what's happening in this rapper's life, or this sister singing, this singer or whatever. You'll know more about what's going on in their lives. You'll know more about what's going on with them than you know or do of your own self. Isn't that a bit of a major imbalance there? You're going to be knowing more about someone else than yourself. And even what you may consider you know about that individual ain't nothing either. It's not even what they are. It's all hype. You know what I mean? It's all hype just to keep people's interest. So, and then attention's focused on, and then you got the energy flowing on, you see? So, but you see, with Jupiter coming out of Scorpio, which have been bringing up a lot of stuff, because Jupiter is about truth and, wisdom, intuition, honesty. I mean, when you get flashes of, oh my gosh, insight, that's Jupiter with its lightning bolts. That's what the lightning represents, you see? And the lightning of sudden, wow, insight, intuitive insight. That's the energy that's kicking off, associated to Jupiter. You see what I'm saying? That's within you. Now, as I said, when it comes out of one sign and enters into another, which is now its home sign, you get a certain revelation that comes along with that for your own personal self, if you are wise or seeking to know beyond your conditioning. So as that has moved out of as Jupiter has moved out of Scorpio and entered into Sagittarius, we've been having a lot of activity in Scorpio for a good almost 4 years, nearly 5 years now. Which is to show you something, that a lot of stuff in the deep, hidden in the deep, it's like you're draining out the swamp, okay? To bring to the surface and bring to life all the stuff that's been buried deep there, hidden away from the public view. And now you've got, that coming up to be, exposed in order for the clearing, in order for the purging, all right? In order for the clearing and the purging. And what becomes exposed is to give you the opportunity to allow more light within you after, having what has been hidden now revealed. And now you know what you're dealing with, or what you weren't dealing with, because you were believing something else. I mean, as I said, there's a lot of psychological manipulation and emotional manipulation that you've been governed with. Yeah? that you're being governed with and governed by. And it's led generations to be hoodwinked. A lot of people are believing in things and hurting themselves and harming others because they just aren't really checking in themselves, if what they're believing in, what their perception is based upon is even real or true. Now, the reason I've said this now is because what's taken place is that Jupiter's come out of Scorpio, as I said, and then you've had Mercury, Mercury, the winged messenger. Mercury, like Quicksilver, is about communication and connectivity, and Mercury rules the opposite principle to Sagittarius, which is Gemini. Okay? Now, this is about communication and connectivity. However, you got Mercury going retrograde, or it had gone to retrograde from can't even recall right now if it was 6 degrees Sagittarius, and went back to 29 degrees Scorpio. And now Mercury is going direct and is moving in direct through Scorpio. Is now 29 degrees Scorpio. So it hasn't entered into Sagittarius, back into Sagittarius as of yet. But you see, you got to get that when you have this take place, when you have a retrograde, I've said before, you're going over old things. You're retracing your steps. It's like going back to an old book that you thought you've already read. You could have read the whole thing. But something, you feel this urge within you to go towards that, but pick it up again and open those pages and look through. Now, that's you going through a retrograde. Yeah, you're recapitulating, you're reviewing, you know what I'm saying? And then you may kind of find something in one of the pages that you just never kind of noticed in that way before. And it just, wow, you know what I mean? You could have just gone back into that whole book just for that one little passage. That little passage you found in the paragraph that just lights up your brain cells, okay? Illuminates, your heart space, and activates your third eye, you know what I mean? Sets you on a jettison off this epiphany realization where you now see something that you saw before, but now you're seeing it again in a total new way. You're seeing it 10 times deeper than you did before. Well, that's what a Mercury retrograde can do. But you end up realizing this epiphany when it starts to go direct, which is what's going on now. So Mercury is about your perception. Mercury is about how your perceptions are formed, which is developed from the beliefs. And these beliefs are installed at a young age when ideas are being planted into your subconscious before you have any critical thinking to protest. And, this becomes, in a certain way, bedrock for your perceptions now to be built upon or grown upon, okay? So when Mercury is going through Scorpio, you're recapitulating now about your ideas, about your perceptions you have on things. Mercury is also about your ideas, and as I said, it's about communication and connectivity. And connectivity is important, and communication. You see, communication and connectivity, like I'm talking to you guys now through a mic over, through the technology over a radio. And I'm broadcasting my voice and this message through how I'm communicating and what I'm communicating and transmitting, to your ears right now. This is creating a connectivity between myself and y'all, you know what I'm saying? Whether I can see you or not. You see what I'm saying? Whether I'm able to see you or not, there is a connection taking place. This is Mercury, y'all. This is how it demonstrates and expresses itself. So it's not an abstract thing, like, oh, here's this little symbol of something that looks like Venus with a cow horn on a crescent on the top. No, it's an actual living energy. it's actually a faculty of expression. It's real. You're right. And through this communication is where we start to establish various connections. Okay, connectivity, connection. So it's this connection that makes us begin to form a certain idea about ourselves and others, and we begin to formulate a picture, okay, to be able to kind of make sense of, something here and what the connection is based upon, what's getting connected. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, you're going through the mystery back into what's hidden. Yeah, you're going into a deep psychology when you're dealing with Mercury retrograding through Scorpio. So whenever a planet is at 29 degrees or a very late degree of a sign, it's intense. It's intense. And it's interesting how that intensity kind of expresses itself through what is being communicated. In this sense, we're talking about Mercury in Scorpio. Yeah, before it continues moving direct into Sagittarius. And you're getting a lot of protests, a lot of what's being suppressed within, can't take it no more, can't hide it, can't keep it, backed up no more, and it just explodes out. This is what you're seeing going on in Paris. People want to govern their own minds. They want to be governing their own lives. They don't want to be lied to no more. The psychological manipulation, as I said, and people are having enough. But of course, you got the media that's not going to give you the real truth. It's going to give you some renditions so you don't realize the impact of what's really taking place. However, vibrationally, all of that energy is going out into the ether, into the atmosphere. Okay? And that is being picked up as whether stress or, exhilaration or, however, you're going to pick that up in the atmosphere. You see, because everything is connected. Okay, the same breath you're breathing now was breathed out by somebody in India somewhere, last Tuesday or something. It's finally got round to you. You know what I'm saying? Everything is interconnected, okay? So with this Mercury going through this Scorpio, you're having the upheaval of now you're re-looking into your ideas, what your beliefs have been based upon, what you want to be holding onto in the depth of yourself. What do these beliefs empower you? Do these beliefs, do these ideas enable you to see the bigger picture? Because when Mercury steps out, as it's coming out, it's at 29 degrees Scorpio. When it moves out of that and enters into Sagittarius, now does that perception help you see the bigger picture? Or are you pigeonholed with the way you think, what you believe? Your perception. Why are you holding on to something so little? What are you afraid of? Why don't you, what are you just only looking at the corner of the room while you're missing out the whole room and, what is present within it? These are allegories I'm just giving you. So Mercury is bringing up all of, you got to be real. You got to bring up and you're going to look into your perceptions and your, and your ideas. And what's the truth of that? Because when Mercury enters into Sagittarius, you're going to have to be true and honest with yourself. You got people who are projecting what they carry in themselves. For example, some people are feeling vulnerable. You see, what happens is that when you're exposed, when darkness is exposed to light, then what's the light going to do? The light's going to bring out what's hidden in the dark. So some people's energy is like very intense light because you are vibrational beings of light. And, you could come into proximity to someone and your light, the frequency you're on, is penetrating them and bringing up what's hidden in the dark. And what that person's carrying in themselves may be fear. And while they've been pretending to be all together, they're together. And they feel vulnerable. Oh, your presence. So what does that mean? Must you own their vulnerability and shrink and now become afraid of your own self? Or do you kind of look at them square in the eye and say, y'all, I think you need to own your own baggage. You need to ask yourself why the heck you feeling vulnerable. Why are you feeling that way? Because you see, a lot of people ain't being honest with themselves. And they want other people to take responsibility for what they're carrying when that's not what the person they want to be taking responsibility for their shit is carrying. You know, it's like you step out your house. You know what you walked out with. And then, you know, throughout the day, you other folk, you're meeting, interacting with other people, and it's like they want you to carry their bags home for them. You know what I'm saying? Or carry their bags home with you. And you got to know what's yours and what is not. You see, and this Mercury going through Scorpio can make you start to discern and look a bit deeper and be honest with yourself, you see, so you don't carry other people's baggage. You see what I'm saying? The homework, school books, you know, they're not doing for themselves. You expect you to take that home with you, and you do all of that homework, and it got nothing to do with you. You understand? So because we're interconnected, you see, our energies can affect one another. But at the end of the day, you're the one who decides, if you're clear with yourself, what you allow in through your door or what you don't. So you get some folk, they're lying to themselves, and they will project their lies, and they will, because they're not owning, they're not being honest with themselves. So they're feeling vulnerable, but want you to feel something's wrong with you. And but they're the one carrying the feeling of vulnerability. So what is it they're not being honest about? What is your light doing to them? It's making them wake up to be acknowledgement of to be honest with what's going on in their heart. Some people carry a lot of fear. They're not carrying the love. You see, yeah, this is a biggie diggy one because, you know, forced connections in order to compensate for the true connection you're not really in tune with, you see, which is source within you. And this I will never overemphasize or feel that I'm overemphasizing it. This is serious deal. You know, connecting to source within you, realizing source is within you, not outside of you. You know, God, yeah, if you want to use that term. And usually people talk about God without goddess. And we're dealing with holisticness. So how can you have God without the goddess? And how can you have goddess without the God? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I'd rather say source because, yes, source off from where existence and all of creation emerges from. So the source of your being is within, not without. But because of the all of the erroneous lies and psychological manipulation to control folk through and using fear to really install it into you, what's been going on? People looking outside up in the sky for this God or this source of themselves. So now they're in a division, they're in a separation, and they're not being really true with themselves. So you allow fear to come into you. You allow fear to be what rules you, not love, because you're not connected. Hence, when people talk about love, oh, give somebody a beautiful hug, meaningful one. What happens? Oxytocin, as a chemical, starts to secrete and flood into your bloodstream. That gives you the feeling of connection and feeling you belong. So, you know, there is also those, you know, biological activations taking place within your body with every thought, every feeling. You know what I'm saying? All of this is interconnected. Now, when you don't feel connected or you feel disconnected, you see, then you feel you got to fend for yourself in a way. You're in a certain protective mode. So a lot of people got their heart closed down because they're not connected. They're not connected. They may give a good talk, may put on garments and look like, hey, yo, the part. It's like a preacher wearing the outfit, and you may think, preacher man knows where God is. Yeah, And then you go to preacher, man, and go, preacher, where's God? And preacher would tell you, look in the Bible or something. Tell you, look up there on the cross to what they're using as a symbol to represent God. See, basically, preacher man don't know. See? But you believe he does because he's wearing the outfit. He's in the outfit. He's in the suit. You know, he's dressed up in it. He must know. You know? But just because you're dressed up in the outfit that represents what is being conditioned to people to believe in, that you're the authority of, doesn't mean that you know a lick a dick of S-H-I-T about it. You see? Because, gotta be careful what I'm saying here on the roll with some words. But, yeah, you see, you have to seek to know the truth of yourself and know that the source is within you, and start, how do I connect to this, if you're interested, and begin to know what it feels like to be connected to source. It's not just some, you know, mental gymnastics we're doing, and you just want to, you know, convince yourself about something you're not even experiencing. You know, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about really, you know, directly being in tune and attuned. So you got folk who really ain't. And they're walking around believing their heart is open and their heart's closed like a fist. And they've just been, fear is really being their companion, basically. And they haven't been real with themselves. And see, Mercury going into Scorpio is gonna make you have to review some stuff. And a lot of people, you know, there's a statement saying, you know, perfect love casts out all fear. That means complete love, you know, trusting in that complete direct connection you have with source. But you see, people's perception and idea of what they call source is going to be coming under review. And what do you believe in differently to what is it that you know because you've made direct contact to feel and directly experience the substance, the living essence of that which you, confess to know? Or are you just holding on to human concepts which you have not experienced to be true as yet? You see what I'm saying? That's the difference between believing and knowing. So Mercury is about your perception, and what is it, you know? How do you take on ideas? You know, what ideas you got carrying? What's shaping your perception? You see, are you questioning what you're believing, or are you getting in touch with what you now are coming to realize you know? You see, these are the questions. So when Mercury now moves out of Scorpio and enters into Sagittarius, which is about the nature of truth, and about the expansion of consciousness, and about the divine mind, the higher mind. Now, what do you think is going to happen with your Mercury? You're going to end up you may end up getting into discussions which is going to really try your, you may avoid people that's going to test your belief system. Yeah, you may avoid it because your belief system isn't really based on anything, you know, real. It's just based on what you being brought up to believe, or your belief systems being based upon some erroneous experiences that has led you to come to conclusions which are very biased or prejudiced. Yeah, and you now become crystallized. Because your ego is going to try and protect you because it's saying, I'm only trying to protect you. But it's fear. Yeah. It's fear that it's motivated by. Not love. Not, hey, yo, I'm really trying to make you realize your true funk, you know, your true soul supreme. Yeah. I'm going to give you the courage to jump beyond the limitations that you may be finding yourself in, so you can find that more expansive, supreme, you know, state of who you are. No, the ego will keep you, you know, no, stay in this room, you know, just stay here. You know, there's a holy whatnot outside. That's what it's going to keep telling you to justify keeping you in your little box, or keeping you where it wants to keep you. Yeah. Heart closed down while you put on all the garbs and pretend and act that you are, connected. So your beliefs are going to become like, people are going to be talking about their gods or, their belief in this and that. And you're going to have to see a bigger picture. You can't be just looking and focusing in one corner of the room and you're ignoring the rest of the whole room. You're not observing what else is in there, what else exists, what else is also present with you, that you also share that space with not, with other, other things. Okay. You see, are you going to be able to expand what you believe in order for you to see a grander reality? Or are you going to be, dictated to by your fears and, the ego fears and says, no, you're going to limit yourself to what you believe is possible, what you feel is truth. You got your portion of truth, but it's only a portion of truth. Your truth could expand by discussing something with somebody else who's got another portion of truth. You get what I'm saying? If it's truth you're seeking, because you get some folk who say, you can't know the truth. You ain't going to be able to know the truth. Nobody knows the truth. These are such stupidness. And I use that word stupidness because you're stooped. You're stumped. There's no further growth going on inside because you've just arrested it with holding on to such an idea. And if that's the case, why the heck do you, then even the word belief, why the heck you believing in anything, such to speak. Anyway, so you got Mercury moving out from Scorpio, which I've just explained what it could be bringing up in folk, you got to be honest with yourself. And then when it carries on moving direct, and it still will be within the retrograde shadow until it moves past 6 degrees Sagittarius. Yeah, you could be discussing things with someone and somebody gets mad because that, you could be saying something about what's happened in the Quran or something like that, or in the Bible, or, something to do with this belief in a God and, where Jupiter is about realizing, the benevolent is the creator in you. Okay. But, yeah, it can bring up some serious piece of arguments because you see, when people believe in something and they want to say it's true, but they can't withstand any examination upon what they believe, that they think that, okay, well, if you're secure in that, man, that should be cool. It should be easy to, have it questioned and you got some answers, or you're not so easily intimidated by somebody else's view, and still be able to stand firm and comfortable in your belief. Yeah. Even though it's being challenged, it should be okay for you. But you see what a lot of folk do, they get mad. They want to hear something that goes beyond what they've been taught to believe, or what they just believe, and they haven't gone in and seek to know for themselves, you see. So because of that, yeah, for this next year, while Jupiter is in Sagittarius, remember you heard what I've said. And yeah, the way it may be experienced in your own life or what you may observe in other people's, then you will be able to be, give witness or testimony through your own experience of what I'm explaining here right now. So, you see, there's a lot of things going on, man, on this planet. And a lot of people are very just terrestrial. They think that terrestrial, the earthly approach, holding down to this earthly human concept is what makes up the universe, the entire universe. And they're not even thinking in a term of a universal intelligence. They're just thinking earthly in human concepts and limited belief systems. And, well, you're not the only ones that exist in the universe, you see. And if I was to say to some folk, like, well, actually, you know your God that you're believing in? You know, what you call him? You call him, what, say God. Oh, cool. Oh, okay. You call him what? Yahweh. Or you go Jah. Okay. Or you go Allah. Okay. All right. What? The Most High. Okay. Okay. So say I said to you that God is nothing but an Anunnaki named Enlil, which means ruler of the sky. And actually what you're calling on, or what you're believing in, isn't source, the primordial allness, the source of all that is. You're actually dealing with the ego of a being that has created various laws in societal structure for you to be confined and conform to and be controlled by as you follow those rules and constructs. Say I was to say that. Nah, man, they will say they know their God. Yeah, their God is what? A picture of a dead dude on a cross, which is totally contrary to what the message of that particular individual, whether you want to say he existed or not, but it's gone so contrary. It's like it was about, what about the resurrection? What is about the life, y'all? You know what I'm saying? But why you go choose a freaking, you know, cross and put a dead man on it? So this is what you believe is God. You know what I'm saying? And you say that this ain't the truth, y'all. You upset folk. Because this is what I'm saying. When your so-called beliefs are being tested, you realize people started flipping out because they're insecure. They don't have no foundation because they don't know the true foundation of where all their beliefs come from. If I say to you that the book, the Bible, comes from Sumerian tablets, you know what I'm saying? And as much as, and then you got people want to believe, yeah, I'm the chosen people. We're the chosen this and that, and don't realize, geez, man, you got to mix. You got your real story superimposed by an alien being who's coming here and did genetic manipulation on the inhabitants that they found here. If I say to you, Babylon means doorway to Elion, doorway to the highest. Now Babylon takes on a different type of connotation. Huh? And then I say there was two brothers who were rivals, where you get the same story just plagiarized, and, you know, different characters are given to you around the same theme, the same story, Cain and Abel. And I go tell you that, well, that's really Enlil and Enki. And that is like, makes no sense to you. I've never heard of that before. And some folk will say, let me go and check this out. And some folk will give it, nah, it'll make no sense to me. And, you know, just flip out and stay dead, you know, and still believe in the story that they hold on to, and not acknowledge that there's a further origin to where that story came from, because it's a story that's storing a message that you're not really privy to. Yeah, because that's all a story is. It's a vehicle to store an allegorical message, which, yeah, is preserving something, a truth that's far deeper than the intellectual mind, that the intellectual mind can possess or connect to. So, you know, so Enlil means ruler of the sky. Enki means ruler of the earth. And there have been beings on this planet called by different names, and they're discovering certain things now that may put the creeps up of people, okay? Because you've been believing in a fairy tale. And, you know, we're in a time now where it's like, it's not about, yeah, people can be left to believe what they want. Remember, lie is in the middle of that word believe, though, okay? And you just know that, okay? And, but the thing is, we're living in a time where everything's getting revealed for what it is. And no one is going to be exempt from this, okay? You see, what you've had is a separative beliefs that make you feel separate, that separate, make everybody look at each other with war while they profess that we all have one God. You see, you can profess things, you know. It's totally different to being actually attuned to that reality. And how can you if what you're believing in is not of that true reality? Then you can't experience it, can you? You're only experiencing what the limitations of your belief is deriving for you. So what I'm saying now, I don't know, might have switched some people off. Maybe they're, you know, nodding off here and now and whatnot. So what's he talking about? Where's he going with all of this? Well, where I'm going with all of this is that what you believing, if you're not checking out, like as I said, you're dealing with what's happening in the heavens is going to be brought out within folk and be expressed on the outer side. And because a lot of people don't aware of cause and effect, they just things are just happening in isolation and not related to other things taking place. And, you know, people are having enough. It's like, yo, can't take this government. Yes, because everything's got to be torn down. The government structure, but it has to happen in a way that's constructive. A lot of people think that this change is going to come with, you know, yes, go out and riot in the streets and loot and all of that foolishness. Like it's going to be through some, you know, weaponry stuff and you're going to go out there, pop, pop, pop. Yeah, we're having a revolution. Stupidness. Just bloodshed over, you know, that's stupidness. It ain't going to happen like that. And anyhow, the human wants to perceive, to believe that it knows how, oh yeah, what's going to happen? It ain't going to happen like that. Because the human concept and way of thinking is very limited. You know what I'm saying? Cannot see strategies that's been in place for 30, 50, 40, 50, 60, even 100 years. Can't even see. Yeah? Beyond, you know, yesterday. You know what I'm saying? It's so how the human is going to perceive all of this is not going to wait. It's not the way it's going to happen. You know? I think it was Gil Scott Heron who said, revolution will not be televised, you know? Huh? The reason why it won't be televised and what you're seeing there on TV ain't really revolution. It's a collusion covering up what really is taking place within. Because the revolution ain't going to be televised because it's going to be happening live. The revolution is going to be happening live within you. So how are you going to televise that? You know? What you see on the TV is just trying to be a smoke screen for you not to see really what's going down, because change takes place from the inside out. And from the inside, you begin to see that change begin to be acted out on the outside. No revolution can take, no lasting and true and authentic revolution can take place any other way. You see, it has to take place from the inside out. So when you're watching TV and when you're looking at the behaviors of people and what you're seeing, you got to remember all of what you're seeing on the outside originates from within. So what is it telling you? How do you react and what are you feeling and what's coming up inside of you to take a look at? Or are you suppressing your stuff and just saying, pointing finger at what you're seeing, the scene, you know, what you're hearing? You know, what you're being indoctrinated to believe, how things are being shaped and orchestrating the psychological manipulation of your consciousness. Are you just, you know, looking at stuff and allowing, you know, the outer scene to dictate to you? Or are you realizing, no, this outer expression is a sign of an inner process taking place? Huh? Because that's what you're seeing. Anything you see on the outside being expressed is taking place originally from the inside. If you can get your mind around that and realize, you will move a long way in clearing yourself and seeing things for what they really are. You see what I mean? So, yeah, let me play another groove for you. Yeah, I think I need to get up and drive my funky soul.
Okay, ladies, get together. Right, 3, 2,
A lot of things. All right, y'all. Feel this.
1, 2, 3, ho! Raise up, get yourself together, drive that funky soul. Get up, get yourself together, and drive your funky soul. They're doing it down in that soul. Drive that funky soul. They're doing it by the beach. They're driving that funky soul. New York, get yourself together and drive your funky soul. Let your body pop and let your feeling flow. Raise up, get yourself together and drive that funky soul. When I say Sagittarius, drive that funky soul. When I say Pisces, holler and drive your funky soul. When I say Gemini, drive that funky soul. When I say Capricorn, and drive your funky soul. When I say Scorpio, Virgo, drive your funky soul. If I say Cancer, can you drive that funky soul? Raise up, get yourself together, and drive your funky soul. Slaughter, get on up, get yourself together, drive that funky soul. Leo, get yourself together, and drive your funky soul. Aquarius, get yourself together, and drive that funky soul. Get yourself together, and drive that funky soul. Get up, get yourself together, and drive that funky soul. Red, get yourself together, and drive that funky soul. Diamond, I need some money. Do you need some money? together and drive that funky soul. On the island mom, get yourself together and drive that funky soul. Raise up, get yourself together and drive that funky soul. Going to get it, going to get it. Got to get some money, drive that funky soul. Got to get some money, got to get some money. I need plenty of money. Oh yeah, I need plenty of money. Fred, I need 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. Brother, yeah. What about it? Will 1 million be enough? You better get 2. Well, since the man got 3, we better well use the 3. You understand? All 3 of them. Can we use the 3? Take them on home, Fred. Take them. Get up. Get yourself together and dance that funky soul. There it is. There it is. And have that funky soul. You don't miss nothing you never had, but you miss so much that you wish you could get. I guess you can put that together. It takes a man to find a woman, it takes a woman to find what a man used to be. Get up. Get on up. That funky soul. Everybody, somebody, that funky soul. Everybody, somebody, that funky soul. Get up, do something together, don't funky soul. Get up, do something together.
Yeah, whoo. Drive that funky soul, y'all. That was James Brown there for you. That was James Brown. So, yeah. You see how that had star signs in the track related to it, y'all, now that I'm back? Very, 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 yeah. Funky. So, as I was saying, you know what? Let me play another groove because, gee whiz, I just, yeah. You see the music that makes you just feel, yeah, the vibes are just so, I'm going to play another funk groove, y'all. And, yes, people. Soul people. Yes, people. Soul people. Yeah, man. You know, we never really call this music soul for no reason, you know. Yep. I tell you. You know. It is, I tell you. I love certain kind of genre of music, you hear? I feel that the music my generation grew up with, and this may be biased, but all of you guys who, you know, you can say for yourself, that music had more light in it, right? Oh, yeah, surely did. Oh yeah, I know some folk is like, oh, but the new things, like new is always good. I don't think new is always better. Some things had no problem. You should have left it alone, kept it how it was. You know what I'm saying? But you see, when you have a psychological manipulation of consciousness agenda that wants to keep moving the souls from new generations of souls coming in further and further away from the truth frequency, because truth is a frequency and you can feel it, then what do they do? What do they do? What do they do? They change stuff up and try and tell you about, oh, that's old stuff. That's not in now. And then when you hear the new stuff they're saying is so great, you don't feel no light in it. In fact, good gosh, you're wondering if, anyway, let me not be too, let me constrain myself a bit because, you know what I mean? Right now we're living in a PC kind of political correctness, what's not, which is a different type of version of the Inquisition. You know what I'm saying? So saying certain things, you know, it's like you dissing other people's creativity and how dare you do that? When, you know what I'm saying, I have to be real. I grew up in the time of the masters. We grew up in the time where folks were doing that stuff live and they were real. Their music and all that stuff, that's why it lives forever. You can't get rid of that type of grooves. Can't get rid of that type of music. But anyway, yeah, just was getting a little bit charged there because I love to feel charged with light. And that groove made me feel very, very happy. And I'm going to play another groove. I'm going to play another groove by, yes, the Honorable JB. Yes, there are other wonderful, magnificent artists, and I will play them on my show as well. But hey, I love this one. Who's the boss, y'all? Enjoy, people, before I resume what I was saying. Before I play the tunes, I'll be back with you on the flip side.
1, 2, get down. Paid the cost to be the boss. Paid the cost to be the boss. I paid the cost to be the boss. Look at me. You know what to see. See a bad mother. Look at me. You know what to see. See a bad mother. Paid the cost to be the boss. Paid the cost to be the boss. Look at me. You know what to see. See a bad mother. Told you so. Told you so. Having fun, got money to burn. 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 'Cause I paid the cost to be the boss. Paid the cost to be the boss.
yeah. I'm a bad mother. Who's the boss? Paid the price to be the boss. Yeah. You got to do this work on yourself and bring out all your latent talents and abilities, y'all, which is what education truly means. To draw out, to rear forth, to bring forth, yeah, that which is latent, the latent potential within yourself. So, yeah, you got to do the work. You got to tap into the source within, you see. So, yeah, pay the cost to be the boss and, you know, to be master of yourself. It's not about being boss over anybody else. It's about being the master of yourself. And, you know, we know in the institutions, and I did say this before, how the institutions is just a place of programming and mind control and indoctrination. I mean, you got children not even knowing how to identify with themselves. They don't know if they're men, women, boys, girls, you know what I'm saying? Oopsie doopsie, you don't know what you is. You can't just simply identify and feel comfortable with yourself anymore. You know what I mean? So much for what's new, hey? Not everything that is new is good, and not everything that is old is better. Gotta understand what is the purpose and what is its quality. You know, is this life enhancing? Is this productive? Is this enabling me to grow? Yeah, in the direction of, you know, is in the direction of, you know, yeah, what's taking me to the core? Is this making me grow? Is this bringing me, giving me power? Is this empowering me? You know what I'm saying? I mean, these are the things, you know. You know, before I go on, it looks like I'm gonna have to do a shout out. I'm getting some messages in here, and I'm being asked some questions. Soul Man, did you read your message? Yes, I did. I did read the message. Good message. Yeah, all right. I just want to give a shout out to those who are listening and tuned in. You know, I want to give a shout out to, you know, Brother Aaron. I want to give a shout out to, Sister Tina, Sister Maxine. Oh, I'm going to give a shout out to Sister Esther. How you doing? Hey, Anna. Hey, Annabelle, if you're there tuning in. Brother Galactic Clyde. Yes, how you doing, brother? And thank you for that message you sent me just now. Very, very good to see Brother Galactic Clyde. I'm going to have him on soon because he is a very good astrologer and very, you know, versed in various, like what we talk, yeah, we're talking a multifunctional, multi-dimensional stuff, you know, not just one ticket here. You know, we got multi, you know, of, you know, knowledge, you know, multidimensional. So, yes, my brother Clyde, Galactic Clyde. And who else am I going to shout out? Do a shout out. Oh, darling Fatu. Wonderful. Yeah, this is great. You know, it's like I got more sisters than the brothers, though, supporting. What's going on? Hey, dudes, you got to step up and represent, you know. Anyway, you know, cosmic roots. You know what I'm saying? You can make these sisters become more acknowledged, more activated, and, soul lit up than you guys. Now, I know you guys just most probably ain't saying much, but you're tuning in and enjoying what you're hearing. So that's how it is. You know, it's how it goes. And, yes, a big shout out to everybody else who I have not maybe mentioned their names. You know, I very much, you know, value your attention and focus and, you know, showing that, you know what I mean? You want to grow and you want to hear stuff that is beyond the old usual stuff we've had for decades, mainly being talked about and still being bashed in your ear and in your neurons. Oh, Sister Jadusha. Yes, of course, Sister Jadusha. Yes, if you're tuning in, my sister. Yeah, so. So as I said, the astro weather. You know, about these, you know, you can talk about just one planet, man. You can talk about one sign for hours because that's how deep you are. That's how interesting you are. You see what I'm saying? Yes, Sister Jadusha. Thank you, my dear. Yeah, man, I just get a confirmation. So you see, have to big up those who are, the cosmic ready. Yeah, the willing and ready. You know what I mean? Cosmic supreme soul beings. They know they've come in here to do some, we're on a cosmic mission, y'all. Not here to work for Mark and Spencer's and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? We're here to do, some cosmic source work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the source within you that you've come here to serve. Nothing external to you, as in religious orders that keep you caught up in some subordinate and hierarchical, fear-based, suffering. You know what I'm saying? We're not dealing with none of that. You don't have to be suffering to get closer to the source of your own self. However, suffering plays its part. The suffering comes from the ego attachment, the way we're looking at things from the fictitious self. And that's where we experience suffering, tribulations, But the purpose of the suffering is to open up your heart to yourself, so you can allow more light of your soul to flood and move through every cell and clear out of you all of those, redundant programs, all past memories that you no longer need to be carrying in your soul. You see what I'm saying? We're here to free ourselves from the illusion. And in order to do that, we're going to have to be aware and comprehend how the psychological manipulation in consciousness is taking place. And we got to become more sensitive and aware to vibrational messages. Because if you just look at yourself as physical and not realizing you're a vibrational being of light, then you're not going to be able to really read these messages the way you need to in this day and time. You know what I'm saying? And, as I was saying, that the music before, it had more light in it because where it was coming from. You see? You can feel the vibration. This is not stuff that's going to be depending upon the intellect. You're going to have to tap into the intuitive expression of intelligence, which is the feel, y'all. And to move and keep moving into the psycho-spiritual realm, come out the psycho-physical. I'll break this down. Sometime I introduce certain things that I will go more into on the other show. But, yeah, we got to go into the consciousness translation or spiritual translation of things. And where we can experience reality, the true essence of reality directly. And realize that we experience life through feeling, not through thinking. And many of us have an issue with feelings. To feel or not to feel. That is the question that makes you determine whether something's real or not. Because if you have not experienced it, and it's not real to you, it's just something you heard and been talking about, but not talking from, you see. So it's about, spiritual translation is about, converting, things from human concepts into the pure substance of reality, so you can feel the experience. You can feel and directly experience the reality, okay? So I will go into more of that next Tuesday. Next strong on the show. And but yeah, the feeling realm. And that gets also misconstrued, because we judge a lot of feelings, so we're not able to get past the denser or grosser levels or energies of feeling to keep moving beyond into the finer feelings, okay? And move into the finer, subtler vibrations, these feelings, to tune into the vibrational frequencies of higher consciousness within you. If you're going to say the Most High and use it in the term of the most high focal point within you, then I'm cool with the Most High. But if you're going to use the term Most High, the Most High, y'all call God the Most High, And you don't realize you're worshiping a sky god that was introduced to you 450,000 years ago. Sumerian tablets, y'all. I think it's day and time. Because you look here, as I said, with this Mercury in Scorpio, and how Scorpio is about the hidden, the mystery, the psychology, sexuality, and really, it is also, yes, awakening to soul consciousness, because you got to go deep beneath the surface to get the truth, you see. You got to go deep beneath the surface to get the truth. I'll say it again. You see, a fisherman knows that he cannot get no big fish by, skirting around the coastline. He's got to go into the deep blue sea, y'all, in order to get some fish, some big fish. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to stay on the surface, and they'll even they'll turn you away from A&E if it's just some superficial cut. You got some superficial. That's a scratch, boy. You know what I'm saying? Get the heck out of here. But if the ting is deep and your arm's hanging off, swinging on one flipping ligament, oh my gosh, you're going to see yourself get flipping rushed in and seen to. Yeah, I know that it will be very bit drastic, yes. But, I'm just giving it as an analogy to say deep is sweet. You know what I'm saying? The surface and superficial sinting is just not really, it's just not really cutting the mustard. You know what I mean? And for some of us, that's the reason why we love to dive in deep, penetration, deep penetration into the mysteries of your own being. Oh, yeah. You got to enjoy the union and harmony of the masculine and feminine principle operative within you, you see. Yes, yes, yes. This is not one without the other. You know what I mean? It's not about controlling one to not be itself while the other be's however it wants to be. The masculine have to be true to itself as the feminine have to be true to itself, and they work together in a harmonious way. Not to control, but to complement. You see? Because all of these false ideas of even relationships, you see, those who come in here with Uranus in Libra and Pluto in Libra, they come to change up this whole thing. Don't you see? Those in their 40s, okay? Those in their 40s, 47, their 40s, 30s, 40s, them have a different view upon a relationship. They're the ones who grew up in a time where whole heap of divorce and whole heap of, they got a different name for this thing, divorce now. They call it what? Conscious uncoupling. Conscious mental uncoupling. Something like that, right? Because divorce just seems too, oh Lord, very... yeah, painful. But relationships, how people perceive relationships. I mean, right now you got man and woman. I mean, all right, you had man and woman, all right. But now folk don't even know what they is. Man, woman, bi, tranny. You know what I mean? You got to be careful saying certain things before you come in like, oh my gosh, you're being don't you what you talking about these gay people and these transvestites. How dare you speak in such look. You know what I mean? As I said, there was a time of the Spanish Inquisition, and that was, putting people upon stake who knew too much. You know what I'm saying? Who would threaten the ruling religion controlling people, who knew said that everything they were teaching was erroneous, and they were misdirecting people and separating them from their source, you see. And then, anybody who had the knowledge and support, they would say that's a witch, that's a sorcerer, that's some mother, this, that, and get people themselves even to run them down and kill them. And, that was that time, and we couldn't even talk these things. You must be mad. You got to talk these things like saying them time there. Well, boy, you know what I mean? It would be pure, anyway, bloodshed and everything. But all right, we say that time done. But we have a different kind of, inquisition right now. It's called political correctness. So you can't talk. Well, you can. Nah, I say you can't. But, you're going to have folk get all touchy. You can't say nothing. Everybody get touchy. Touchy. Too touchy. Yeah, and it wouldn't be so bad if the touching was from who you would like to be touched by, you know what I mean? I know you would like to be touched, see? You know, light you up and touch you in all the right places. But it's not that kind of touchy. It's just flaring up because, you know, folk are confusing themselves. So look how, as I said, Uranus and Libra is about relating. And Uranus is about change and liberation, but Uranus is also about, you know, where you're experiencing trauma that you need to heal. So look what's going on, man. People's identity crisis. You know, even children can't say that I'm a boy or a girl without being told, no, you're not. You mean, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? Biology has already showed me that. Basic, simple thing, you know, come in here like that. But you're going to be taught that, you know, yeah, you're a boy, girl, or girl, boy, or, you know, you're not a, yeah. A lot of this stuff is there to distort, and this is what I'm talking about, psychological manipulation in consciousness, so you don't realize who you really are. You got a lot of people identifying with body rather than soul and not realizing, hang on a minute, your body is a vehicle that you need to honor the integrity of its design in order for your soul, which transcends gender, to operate and express itself through. Thank you very much. And we all have a positive and negative pole, electromagnetic, in order to work together for you to have power to flow through. You don't have 2 plus and 2 minus. It don't work. You know what I'm saying? And this is universal law. This is cosmic law. But you see, when man law come in, his law is all about psychological manipulation. So he'll come up and tell you that it's okay for a man to be a woman and a woman to be a man. How does that work? And even when you're seeing, why is my conversation and my reasoning started to go into this? Well, this is how it's flowing. But, you know, these are the things that's going to be coming up. What's your truth, y'all? What's the nature of truth? Jupiter, Jupiter, Jupiter. Seeing? And the higher mind, divine mind, you're going to have to come into the realization that there is a higher law of existence that all life has to align itself up with, or all life naturally lines up with, and is what's running the show. But you see, man, while coming with, when I say man, I'm talking about these physical-minded individuals. They want to just talk and come up with concepts that are messing up the minds of the young ones who don't even have developed any critical thinking yet to be able to question what's being implanted in their minds. And crazy enough, you got various parents supporting that stuff, you know. And if you speak out against it, you're the one who is not open-minded, or, oh, you know how it goes. Your mind, you're not progressive enough. You're the one limited. You know, I tell you, man, this stuff is really, really, really heavy when you see and think what's going on. The psychological manipulation of consciousness of the new generation, as they was doing to each one that came in here. And these folk do not include any universal law in any of their ideas that they coming up with. They just make these shit up and ruin people's lives for years. Let me tell you something. For any of you who wants to continue, like, check this out. Let me tell you something. Write this down. There is something on YouTube. You can go and search and check it out yourself. It's called I Want My Sex Back. I Want My Sex Back. Write it down and go check it out. Now, this is the stuff you're not going to be seeing put in BBC. This is from various people who are pioneers in this messy business, this confusing flip-flop business. And they themselves, you're hearing they themselves talk to you about, hey, what they realized and how it was a big mistake and where it was all coming from when they went in and did that stuff to themselves. It's called I Want My Sex Back. But you don't hear these, you're not going to see this on mainstream. You see, because what they want to do on mainstream is push an agenda to F up your minds. You got to realize, man, you got to realize, y'all, that true source is harmony. You got to realize that when you're dealing with the masculine and feminine, that's how it always is. That's the complementary opposites for all life to express itself through. You know what I'm saying? It's not about man, man, and woman, woman. It's not that. I mean, if who wants to deal with that and do that, that's their business. But everybody's going to have to deal with the consequences of their actions sooner or later. So let that be what they have to deal with. But hey, y'all, if you're talking stuff and you're not dealing with universal laws of existence, and you just want to come in with some you're coming in with some baggy, loose, not tight, not fitting kind of, messed up reasoning to influence the minds of folk to get confused in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Leading them down away from themselves, leading them down a path that is not going to be wholesome for them in the long run. Yo, dude, you know what I mean? We got to speak up against that stuff while still focusing upon the highest focal point within yourself. Because you don't want to be giving energy to that which you don't want to be coming around. You want to be giving energy to that which you do want. But you have to deal and align yourself with the true laws of existence. The true laws of existence. So with the Mercury moving out of Scorpio, which I said you're going to have to relook. You're going to question your beliefs. What's your perception? What's it based upon? Is it what I've received from outside of me, which has been erroneous? Have I been taking on other people's views and that doesn't really work for me? Look, even your idea and your thoughts around sex and sexuality, don't you see what I'm saying here? The Mercury going into Scorpio, sex is the most beautiful thing and experience. But you see, you're being taught to call it dirty. It's being perverted. It's now being used as some flipping recreation. You know what I'm saying? And separating sex from life. How can you separate sex from life, man? You see what I'm saying? It's the creative principle within you, and it needs to be honored. You see what I'm saying? But not used to control and manipulate others. It's supposed to be a free, loving, mutual exchange between two willing partners, man and woman. But I know now that some folk is like, well, their choice of who they want, do with is up to them. But I'm talking from universal principle, y'all. Universal principle, man. You're dealing with feminine and masculine, plus and minus, straight up, y'all. Yeah, no other way, star. Even if you are going with the same sex, your body came from where? The produce of man and woman. So you can't tell me that what you're doing is a natural thing. It's a decision and a choice. Go for it. That's for your business. But don't force other people to get involved and want to turn around and start accusing them of being whatever they don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear straight men going around saying, I'm straight, I'm straight. We don't freaking say that. Straight when I'm straight. You don't hear that. You just, what you is and you move with it. You know what I mean? I don't need to freaking go tell everybody what the heck you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So, it's an agenda. It's an agenda. Come on, people. It's a psychological manipulation in consciousness. Come on. Shouldn't even feel a way to say these things. You know what I'm saying? But everybody gets touchy because, everybody could be in something that you don't realize they're involved in. And that's where they're getting touchy and take it all personal on their ass self when it's like, y'all, listen, man, ideas, beliefs, a whole heap of that. Your perception, it's all coming up for inquisition now. It's coming up for you to look into where these ideas come from and do they really serve you? All right? This is what's going on. And now when Mercury moves out of Scorpio and enters into Sagittarius, well, it's going to be in there for a little while Sagittarius itself is going to, Jupiter in Sagittarius itself is going to be there for a good 13 months. 13 months. So this is all going to be about the greater truth and the laws of existence going to come into it. And, you're going to have some disturbance in certain people's lives because you just, what they're believing in is the very thing that's oppressing them. You know what I'm saying? If you notice that the whole commandments and all that stuff in the religious God Bible, it's all about fear. It's all about reward and punishment. It's all about, if you don't do the will of who, you will get your ass burnt in hellfire. You know what I'm saying? You even get folk who will say that, talking astrology, I said this last Tuesday, or psychic, or predict the future, oh, this is devil, this is evil. And it's like they seem to know more about how the devil operates than their own God that they flipping still can't work out. Why is God doing this? And why is God not doing that? And why did he? Why? Because they're choosing to believe in something that is up there in the sky and not deal with reality and deal with the real truth of what source consciousness really is. You got a God, you got no goddess, but you're worshiping a God. God is the masculine. Goddess is the feminine. So what the heck you just chatting about God for? You know what I'm saying? Father, Son, Holy Duppy, you know what I mean? The Holy Ghost. Woman disappear now. She's not part of the family. See this mad stuff. And this is what people been believing for freaking centuries. Excuse me. In fact, don't excuse me. I stand behind everything I say. You know what I mean? I'm just being humorous. The thing is that the change, the questioning for further expansion in consciousness, Jupiter. Let me say something a little bit more even exciting about Jupiter as it's moving through Sagittarius. You see, I said that these planets also represent aspects of within your body. It also represents glandular secretions in your body. You're dealing with deities or primordial cosmic forces within yourself. Jupiter represents your liver. And what does your liver do? Your liver purifies your blood. Your liver purifies your blood. You see, Jupiter is associated with your liver as well as, aspects of your brain. Jupiter represents the liver. And as I said, the liver is about detoxifying. Yeah. It's detoxing all the toxicity out the blood. You're dealing with digesting and transformation. So how, thoughts are also assimilated into your bloodstream. Judgment and double-mindedness, condemnation and jealousy. Those are the toxins in the blood. Hence why when people mad and angry, they say they're livid. All right. And really, see, Jupiter's about truth and honesty, which means then now, it's about, you see, if you're holding on to beliefs about judgment as well, because your beliefs in a religious God, okay, it's not really making you realize the truth of the source within you, and you're living in constant fear, unconsciously, because some folk is, I'm not consciously, but unconsciously you can, if you got a belief in heaven and hell, okay, and, it depends upon how well you've performed, and something else other than within you is going to judge whether you deserve to go to heaven or hell, then you cannot really you're not able to appreciate life in its fullness. Life to you is a burden. Life to you is a suffering, tribulation. That's what you believe life is. You see? And source is supposed to be life, the source of all life, the life force moving through and flowing through you. You understand? And, wow. You have to purify your blood from all of that fear. And then what sits on top, what sits, wow, man. You gotta purge your blood from all of that judgment and, jealousy. Good gosh. You're told you got a jealous God in the Bible, people. Your God's jealous, people. Your God's jealous. So that God is very toxic, bro. his liver. Damn. Holy gallstones and all of that. You know? You see what I'm saying? All them gallstones. Gee, kidney stones. That's what comes from holding all that judgment and jealousy and anger, you know, inside of you. And hence people believe they got a judging God and fear this God. You understand? And having no idea that is not the true source. Oh my gosh, I may be busting some people's bubbles right now. You know what I mean? Oh, jeez. You know, if you believe in a God that you don't really know, you don't, it's not source, man. You're looking outside of yourself for a God. You're worshiping Enki. Enki means ruler of the sky. Enough people look in a book and do not know the source and origins of where those pages that were compiled together to put in what you call book, Bible, Biblos. That's what it means, book. That's what it means. Biblos, Bible, means book, people. And you got other folks, it's the word of God. It's the word of God, you know, and really enforce all of that fear and judgment and hellfire in your ass. You know what I'm saying? And they are being possessed by the consciousness that construed the ideas of the God concept that they're believing in. This goes back to Sumer, people. Sumerian. Go and look, write it down. As I said, this is an educational, you know, show. This is not entertainment. Just to thrill you up a piece. Write down and go and do your own research. You're living in a time of technology. Information technology. You can just, what? Got a phone, clip, clap, make it, use it, make it serve you. Don't be there following and being the servant to this technology. Make the technology serve you so you know how to use it. You know, if you're going to be all busy on your phone, then be busy reading some PDF that you've downloaded that's going to expand your consciousness, make you realize and wake up to the truth in yourself. Huh? You know what I'm saying? You make it serve you. So you just go and tap in Sumerian tablets, y'all. Yeah, let me shout out certain things. Nag Hammadi Library. Go and get that book, okay? Because that's dealing with scriptures and scrolls there that was found 70 odd miles northward from Luxor in North Africa. They call Kemet or Egypt look, Egypt. Egypt is a Greek word, Egyptos. Egypt don't even really exist. There was there was 42 nomes, and one of those cities, meaning nomes, that Ptolemy captured back in them times, sacked, and you got your Alexandria, whatnot, who did it for him. You know, nome was called Hakepata, the city of Ptah, or the house of the living spirit of Ptah, Hakepata. That's what it originally meant. All right? Hakepata. Yeah? The house, of the living spirit, Hakeka, spirit, yeah? Hakepa, yeah? Of Ptah, the house of the living spirit of Ptah. And Ptah means heaven and earth. Pet is heaven and Ta is earth, okay? That's Hakepata. One city of 42. Okay, and that was sacked during that time of Ptolemy's reign, okay? And they changed that little city to a Greek word called Egyptus. And Egyptus from Greek turned into Egypt in English. Hence, you have Egypt today. But Egypt don't exist. It's a made-up word from a Greek colonizing campaign of one city of 42. You understand? Just thought I'd say that. Because every time I'm saying Egypt, I'm going, Kemet, you know, and I'm having to go, oh yeah, well, just in case those who don't know that it's Kemet, I'm talking Egypt. Egypt don't even exist. It's made up. Do your research. Do your research. Don't be lazy. You know what I'm saying? Tap it. Listen, right now you're dealing with information. Yeah, you're dealing with information error. And you're dealing with what? You're in an information age. So to be ignorant is a choice in this day and time. Think about that. To be ignorant is really a choice. If you can't pick up your phone, yeah, You got a mini computer in your hand. And you can't pick up your phone to just say, all right, let me just Google this. Sumerian tablets. That's all you got to do. You don't have to do a jog around the block. Yeah, you don't have to jump up and puff out your, oh my God, did some exercise and all of that. You don't have to, it's not that, you don't have to make that much of an effort. All you got to do is use your index finger or use your two thumbs and type it up. Sumerian tablets. See what comes up. Origin of the Bible. You know, be creative. Think about the right question you want to put into that search engine. Because if you don't put the right question, you're just going to get input-output. You know, you got to put the right question. Word your thing, you know, cleverly. Word your question. Phrase it cleverly. And then you type that in the search engine, and I'm telling you, yeah, you see some stuff come up that you be thinking, what? I never, The Enuma Elish. Never heard of these words, have you? The Enuma Elish. Yes, the Enuma Elish. Yeah, type that. That's where your creation stories come from in your Bible. People ain't telling you that, are they? Why? Well. And it's not like it's not there for you to go and research for yourself. But you see, if you're being psychologically hypnotized, psychologically manipulated to look the other way, right? Not in the direction of where your true salvation and source is to be from within you, and you're looking the other way up in the sky, there's a whole heap of stuff you're going to miss. And there's going to be a whole heap of stuff going to be played out, orchestrated for you, for your entertainment, to make the lie more convincing for you to buy into, you see. As I said, you got folk who know more about what celebrities are doing and what's going on in their life and what they love to eat and how many times they go to the bathroom in a day and, you know, what they purchase and, you know, what they wear. They know more about them than they know about their own self. Now, ain't that sad? Well, that's what happens when you are worshiping something outside of yourself rather than connecting with the source within. You see, love is connectivity. Fear is feeling separated and disconnected, where you now got to grab on to anything you can find to feel, a little bit stabilized. You know what I'm saying? And you see, and then they give you the Mickey Mouse, Hollywood, Donald Duck kind of love stories, you know what I'm saying? And people get caught up in fantasizing illusionary stuff. But the real love that you can feel, that which really translate to connection, connectivity. You know, when that chemical gets, look, it's even a chemical translation of a actual reality, chemical reality in you called oxytocin. When, a beautiful hug, a meaningful hug, I'm talking now, feels good. It's like flooding your body with oxytocin and you feel connected, don't you? Yeah. Well, there's a real source that can flood you with oxytocin all day long. Or there's that non-real, which is going to keep you in fear and have adrenaline coursing around your system all day long until, cortisol overloads your body and mashes it up from the inside out because your thoughts are based upon, non-loving, untruth, You're being psychologically manipulated to hold on to a lie that you're making real with your attention. And you're just going to get more of what you're given, you see? So anyway, go tap into the Google, y'all. And, in this day and time, to be ignorant is a choice. So if you're scared to do that, if you're not going to do that or refuse to do that, it's up to you. But it's something you're afraid of. Maybe you find that, maybe you're going to be afraid to find what I'm saying is true. I find so many people try to defend a lie. Man, you got scholars on that level trying to defend a motherfucking lie. This is how deep it is. Why? Why so much investment in that. Because the elite, so-called, those who want to keep everybody under control with a system that is totally unjust. And look, we're the only species that are paying to even be on a planet. Think about that. You got to pay to be on this planet, dude. We're the only species that do that. What kind of flipping mindset is going to get you going to make up rules and all that type of stuff to have what? Look, man, you got to realize how this whole society is being set up and why it's being called Babylon, because Babylon goes back years. It goes back thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? And it was built by these Anunnakis. And then you got the Dracos, and you got Nephilims. And look, man, even in your Bible, it will tell you that beings came from beyond the atmosphere. They came in and messed around and interfered with the inhabitants that was here. Okay, in your own Bible, though. So if you go believe it, then you know, don't Google. Just go and read your Genesis, and you're gonna read your Genesis and see that beings came from beyond this atmosphere. Okay, they came from beyond this atmosphere, y'all. They said, hey man, you guys look too unified, doing your everything. What you're doing, look, you're going to build something. There's nothing you can imagine that you won't be able to do. So, man, we need to divide you. We need to confuse your ass. We need to make you now start to believe in some power outside of yourself rather than the source that you already are one with, and you're utilizing that telepathic link. You know what I'm saying? So they came down and said, you know, we got to confound their tongues. Read it. It's in your book. Okay? And that's what caused man to be confused and no longer uncomprehending, you know, the heart of his brother. Huh? That's what God did. You know what I'm saying? It's really crazy how people just don't see all this stuff, but they read the Bible. And all they do is focus on, but Jesus. And don't even realize that how can you therefore be acknowledging Jesus as a dead man on the cross when Jesus was about eternal life? What, didn't he raise up from the dead? So why don't you have this glowing light being that you can like, hey, yeah, you remind me, I'm eternal life. Thank you. Good thing. Good symbol to look at. But instead, you're dealing with a dead man on the cross. Exaltation of suffering. I mean, I've said this before. It's crazy shit. Come on, please. This is psychological manipulation of your consciousness. And some people gonna get mad because I'm busting some little bubbles. But look here, my salvation is my responsibility, and I am not going to be chumping out on myself. So anyway, Jupiter, you know, this was a weather forecast, and it's turned into this. Astro weather forecast. Keep an eye on Jupiter moving through Sagittarius. Be aware of any lightning strikes of intuition that may pop into your awareness. Be aware of what conversations are happening around you and what nature of those conversations are to see, what disgruntledness starts to happen because folk want to defend what they believe and don't want to expand on that belief. They don't even want what they believe to be questioned. Why are you so intimidated to have what you believe if it's so 100% sure? Why are you going to be insecure and having that question? You should have the answer, dude. Or you should even be pleased that you're going to have even what you feel is so true even more expounded upon by others, at contributing to, the expansion of more of what you should be happy to know if it's the truth that you desire. That's the thing. So be aware of these things coming up, y'all. You know what I mean? Over the next 13 months, and look into yourself. Are you expanding and growing in yourself? And when I say expanded and growing, I don't mean getting fat and sitting on a couch. And you know what I mean? I'm talking about your light, your inner light of awareness. Yeah? You know what I mean? Is that light expanding within every cell within you? You know what I'm saying? Jupiter is the higher mind. I'm telling you that now. The divine mind. The divine consciousness, I should say, because the mind comes out of consciousness. So, anyway, I think I will be calling it a night at this moment in time. And yeah, gonna play an outro tune. Well, one prior to my outro. And if you got anything from this show this evening, well, let it enable you to grow and glow brighter. And anything you've written down that you feel is interesting, then take it further and actually research it. Okay? So you're not just hearing this brother say this and that. You're actually getting it confirmed for yourself and looking deeper into it. All right? So I'm going to play one more tune before I give you my outro. So, yeah, hope you like this one. Yes, so that is me for tonight, y'all. We'll catch you on the flip side next Tuesday on Cosmic Roots Show. Yes, and we got our next presenter in the house, Brother Carl X, who's going to be jamming you, grooving you, tuning music throughout the night. So, you know, I trust you enjoyed this one. I mean, it's a bit different how I did this show this evening, but it's just how it goes. You know what I'm saying? So those who are still with me, still up, you know what I mean, and getting ready to rest up now, you know, I wish you a wonderful, good rest, a good rejuvenating hours, and thank you for tuning in. And I'm always, what's the word? Appreciative of your feedback, your constructive feedback, and what you're getting from the show. All right. So next Tuesday, yeah, I'm gonna go more into cosmic lore because it's about knowing about the principles that ones can practically use to, to counteract all of the stuff going on. So we can deal and focus with solutions rather than just repeating and being repetitive about the problems. You know what I'm saying? So, yes. So enjoy and have a good shadow hour. Love to all you souls out there.